Who's there again? Riley's dad struggled to get to the door. The cops were standing there. They reported that his son had stolen an expensive car and was speeding around town trying to escape pursuit. He hit a granny at a crosswalk and then fled. This time he's facing real prison time. I have no idea where that idiot is. The cops warned him to let them know as soon as Riley showed up. And then they left. His dad watched them through the window. When they left, he ran out into the street. Of course, his dad knew where to look for his unborn son. He was hanging out in the garage with his buddies. "Best latch, you're wanted." His dad told Riley that he needed to lay low immediately until things calmed down. They saw an advertising banner near the garages. It was a good opportunity to hide his son at a summer camp, completely free. His dad looked at his watch. There was very little time left before departure. They ran to the bus station. The bus was already there. The kids were settling into their seats. The friendly driver was packing their suitcases. What kind of wreck is this? The father grabbed his son by the scruff of the neck and threw him onto the bus. Everyone was ready. The bus pulled away. The father waved. He remembered raising his son alone. His wife had left them. When Riley was still a baby, she found herself a rich old man and drove off to the seaside forever. The bus left the city. The teenagers were having fun, joking around, and getting to know each other. Riley also started talking to his neighbor. Austin seemed less clueless than the others. He explained that his parents sent him to this camp as punishment for playing too much on the computer. "And what were you playing all day?" "At first, I had to play Minecraft, but one day I was watching YouTube and my cool dad recommended I play this cool game." The blinds on the windows lowered. The driver calmly let go of the wheel. Panic set in. That's one of the camp rules. No one is supposed to know where we are. Even the camp staff don't know. The bus continued driving calmly on autopilot. It was already completely dark when the bus arrived. Cheery, the camp counselor, was crying in the parking lot. The camp director had died. The kids were confused. How could this be? Cheery called them to follow her. They entered an old building with a creaky floor. Some of the kids started checking to see if the dead man was real. But suddenly the director stood up. Everyone squealed and hid in different places. "Oh, old Korga has forgotten again that I come back to life every night at the stroke of midnight." The kids started laughing. The director had put together a great show. But Riley wasn't amused. These stupid, carefree teenagers were having fun over some nonsense, and the director was acting like a clown. There's one most important rule at camp. You have to behave to survive. This made the kids laugh even more. They started fooling around. Georges kicked Tim. "That's it, I'm going to die." A fight broke out. The counselor tried to separate the wankers. Oh, no way. There would be trouble again. The director looked at them disapprovingly and said that no one had ever gotten out of here alive because everyone had behaved so badly. Riley became completely bored at this meeting. He secretly slipped out of the director's office to search the camp and see what he could steal. In the infirmary, he saw a dim light and peered in the window. The nurse and the cook were doing something strange. Riley couldn't figure out what they were doing there and ended up getting caught. The cook ran to the window, but there was no one outside. Probably rats. Riley could hardly catch his breath from running so fast. He noticed graves behind the fence. It was a cemetery. Riley got scared. He ran back. The counselor led the boys to their building. There, too, everything was like a horror movie. Everyone loved the atmosphere. Riley told Austin about the cemetery, but Austin reassured him. "Don't worry, it's all just scenery." After the long journey, everyone was tired and quickly fell asleep. Riley tossed and turned for a long time. He remembered how his perpetually drunk father wouldn't give him money for sweets. All his friends had Robux, but he had to wash cars to earn at least a little. Sometimes, rude drivers didn't pay at all. One day, a local bully named Muffin demanded half of his earnings. Riley refused, threw a bucket at him, and ran away. Back then, he was still a noob and hid from the bully for a long time, but then he learned that Muffin had disappeared without a trace. No one knew where he was. Riley remembered. The bully was at one of the graves. What the hell? Suddenly, he heard a strange sound. The guy looked around. Everyone was asleep. George was snoring peacefully in the next bed. Suddenly, scary black hands crawled out of his bed. Riley hid under the covers. Arms grabbed his victim and pulled him into bed. The boy was in shock. "Austin, Austin, get up." He told him what he had seen, but his disgruntled friend rolled over and muttered that it was just a bad dream. Riley was afraid to lie back down. He sat up by the nightstand and looked around. Voices came from the nightstand. Riley jumped back. Could the monster that had kidnapped George really be inside? But no one emerged from the nightstand. Then Riley opened the door. Inside was a long passage. The voices were coming from somewhere far away. He became curious. Carefully, he climbed into the nightstand and crawled along this eerie tunnel. A nail protruded from the floor. Riley cut his hand, but that didn't stop him. He continued crawling. In some places, the tunnel branched off in different directions. He had to take random turns. Eventually, he got lost. The voices were getting closer. Into a room that resembled a torture chamber. George was lying on a bunk, muttering something. Some kind of energy was being pumped out of his stomach. Little transparent people were screaming from jars. Among them, Riley spotted the hooligan Muffin. Suddenly, a girl entered the room, and everyone fell silent. She looked around suspiciously and began sniffing like a dog. Riley hid and decided to wait a bit. But when he peeked back, the girl was gone. He wanted to call out to George, but she appeared in front of him. Riley quickly crawled. Traces of his own blood helped him find his way back. Riley shot out of the nightstand. It was already morning. "Wake up, the girl kidnapped George." The disgruntled boys began to get out of bed. Rosita peered into the nightstand. There was no one here. But there was a tunnel. "I snuck in there and saw her kill George." The guys started laughing. No one believed Riley.